What's going on? What's going on YouTube? Daniel back here for another video. So for this video, I want to talk specifically about something that I think will help you guys tremendously, something I've used to improve multiple areas of my life. And this is something that will help you on your journey in terms of healing yourself using food. So if you don't know me and you are new to the channel, my name is Daniel. For the past 8 years, I've used food to reverse my psoriasis, live drug free, and build lean strength. And I show what I've learned or teach what I've learned on this channel and also to my clients. So essentially, this video will be about something that I reflected on today. Basically, got a idea from it last night, and essentially, it's the importance of programming. So this is something that not many people understand in terms of how vitally important it is, because it's always happening to you whether you know it or not. So society in general, everything around you is programming you, either you consciously realizing it or unconsciously. So things like advertisements, if you still watch TV or the news, all the commercials, stuff like that, they're basically selling you that you have an issue, there's something wrong with you, you're lacking something, and whatever they're offering in terms of products or services is going to basically fill that. So they're basically, just giving you, affirmations in terms of like your issues, what possible problems you can have. Also, music as well is a big affirmation thing in terms of programming, especially rap music. One thing I realized is, all of that, talk about the lyrics and stuff like that, that actually programs people, and they don't realize it, but it's going on always, constantly. Your circle as well as programming you. So obviously you can only go as far as the best person in your circle, but also the team can only go as far as the worst person in the circle. So essentially, whatever limiting beliefs you have in your circle, that also programs you. Them telling you something about you that maybe they are reflecting about themselves. So things like their limiting beliefs, like I said, and essentially the whole thing is you have to address basically the programming and make it conscious and come from yourself. So what I mean by this is, I'll give you an example. When I was working on an area of my life in terms of socializing, I was about like 22, 23. I was a super young kid, just got out of a relationship, traumatized in many different ways. And what I did was basically dedicated about 3 or 4 years to going out and socializing and meeting women. And I did this sober. I talked about this in another video. But basically what I want to talk about is what I use in terms of programming myself to become that person that can get the result, because the person always comes before everything. People think it's like doing, having, and then being the person, but you have to actually be the person beforehand. So I was not that person, but what I did was study people that had the results. And what I did from there was get around people that study first, the people that had the results, the mental habits they had, the way they thought, the way they acted, talked. This was all online on YouTube. Then I found a community. Thankfully, it was a free community at that time. People were going out. And I met some people there that were actually very proficient in terms of like meeting women and doing this without like drugs or like, we call them crutches, or alcohol, needing like liquid courage. And then the third thing was I developed the person in my head and programmed that person every time I was, going out or trying to work on this area of my life, socializing. So basically, this applies to you because you have to understand that in order to become or get a different result than what we have now, you have to become a different person, like I said, and this all comes with the belief systems you have. So the actions you take in terms of getting a certain result will always come after a belief. So basically, you don't act in certain ways if you don't believe something's going to happen from that. So basically, what we have to begin to do is program those beliefs. Like I said, it's either happening to you unconsciously, you're getting programs about yourself from society, people around you, rap music, or any kind of music genre. It could be like sad music, whatever it is. But essentially, what we have to begin to do is get into the practice of writing down the ideal person you want to be in terms of health, how that person would act, how they would think, how they would feel, how they would behave in certain situations. So you have to have your ideal self essentially, before your eyes, before your mind, before they crystallize before your eyes. But essentially, on top of that, have the mental image of that person. You have to begin to, write down the beliefs they have and repeat those every time. So I'll give you an example. Basically, I talked about this on my Instagram story. You guys can follow me there on my description. But they're pretty funny. So basically, they were called selective blind spots. So basically, you're like selectively choosing the beliefs you want to have, and these are delusional beliefs, and your beliefs should be pretty delusional in order to like not make them too small, and basically just exceed what you think you can do. So my beliefs essentially when I was going out, I'll give you an example. Basically, when I was going into a club and meeting women, keep in mind I was a super shy kid. I was still like tall, but I was very lanky, didn't have any confidence, and essentially this was me. It was obviously a present lie, but could be a future truth. But these were delusional, very delusional beliefs. Essentially, what I would tell myself when I went out and I'm going to a club is basically one thing I would repeat myself is every girl in here wants to sleep with me. The first belief, obviously it's a lie, it's delusional, but I would just tell myself that. And basically, I'll go into like how beliefs work and stuff like that as well. Secondly, was every girl here wants to meet me. This would be when I was in any setting. It could be club. It could be when I'm out, any kind of event, stuff like that. So it could be like a girl could be on the phone. A girl could be like on the phone, like with a baby and stuff like that. And in my head, I'm like, okay, she wants to meet me. And the third one was every girl is always thinking about sex. So like every second of every day. So she could be walking down the street, like or on the beach reading a book, and I'm just like she's just thinking about sex. So like these are delusional beliefs, but essentially what they did was they helped me. Sorry, a bit of a cutout there, but essentially these beliefs they built the base. So basically, I'm going to explain how beliefs work. This is actually from Tony Robbins. It's not from me. I'm not claiming to be some kind of like scientist or like basically mental wizard that tells you how it works. So basically, this is a life coach, Tony Robbins. He's been around for like 40 years, I think, like 30 plus years, helping people like transform their lives. I believe I got it from his like most famous book, Awakening the Giant Within, or it could be a YouTube video. But essentially, how belief works is it's like a table. So any belief you have right now, it's the top of the table, and then its legs. And the four legs are experiences that basically ingrain that belief into your mind. So any belief needs experiences to ingrain it and become concrete and something that you firmly believe in. So basically what you have to do is you can just form a new table. So whatever belief you have right now about yourself, let's say for example, you don't believe that food can help you. You're like, oh yeah, food is whatever. Your new belief should be anything I eat will affect me negatively or positively. Or, this diet is going to, heal me. You can't really give it time. Like this diet, every nutritious food I eat is healing me. So you don't believe that right now. It's a false, it's a present lie. You're just lying to yourself in your current reality. But essentially, it's a present lie turning into a future truth. So what we have to do is have this belief repeated over and over. And basically, what your mind begins to do is you're setting the table, like the top of the table, like mentally in your mind. Think about it, like you write that belief every day. You're repeating it to yourself in every situation that you're eating food, or interacting with food, or about to interact with food, because you interact with food almost like 3 times a day or twice a day, depending how many times you eat. And basically, what you're starting to do is find beliefs. So your brain will start to find beliefs or experiences, that ingrain this belief based on the experiences you start to get. So, for my instance, in terms of when I was going out meeting women, I would have this belief of every girl here wants to sleep with me. Obviously not true, but essentially I would go in and have nights where I would end up finding somebody, meeting them, hooking up, whatever it is, and then that would kind of give a new experience that enforced that belief minimally, obviously not but you more or less get the point. So one leg, and then go back, and maybe another experience happens where I get instant attraction with a bunch of different people, another leg. So it starts to enforce that belief. So basically, this is what we have to begin to do. Like I said, make it as delusional as possible. It can't be something that's just like, oh, food is good for me, or like apples are good for me, or like they have don't be like, take this shit seriously, man. Like you have to like really write down in the morning what beliefs you want to have. Make it like 1 or 2, like 3 max. Don't like put like 10 beliefs. That makes sense. You're not gonna be able to remember them. Have like 1 or 2 beliefs you want to work on, maybe for that month, however long it takes to ingrain it. I would say like a couple months, but essentially like have 3 tops and beliefs that you want to enforce. So basically, using the table method, I'm going to call it the table method. I'm not sure what it's called. Tony Robbins calls it. We're going to call it the table method here on this video. But essentially, you use that and begin to, have your delusional belief in your head and begin to basically build the legs under that table. So, like I said, make it delusional. I don't know what belief you want to have about yourself. Maybe right now you're, really low and trying to find, your way with things. But it could be a belief about yourself. It could be a belief about what you're doing, like in terms of your relationship with food. But it has to be a belief about something. And basically, you're repeating a belief over and over, and you're basically overriding your subconscious belief, because everything is subconscious. You can say have 10 brains, and basically, you have 10 brains, and 9 of them are subconscious. So your conscious brain is like about 1/10 of your actual brain, and the rest of your autopilot or ways of acting are all subconscious. So they basically, they say they have like 10 brains, but 9 of them are subconscious that you don't see. So the conscious brain has to work really, really hard to like override all that subconscious programming. So basically, you have to do this repetitively over and over. It's basically like exercise, mental exercise. Think of it like, when you're meditating, when you go to the gym and you have your physical exercise, this is mental exercise of like repetition, affirmations, auto-suggestion. Basically, auto-suggestion, repetition, the same thing. You're just auto-suggesting the belief you want to have, over and over and over. Or don't talk to yourself. You could if you want, but just do it mentally. Like I said, when I was doing these beliefs, when I was going out, this is all mental in my head. Like, every girl wants to sleep with me. Every girl's thinking about sex, blah, 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 blah. So I want to basically have these beliefs and just work on them every time. Basically, my whole job was to like get experiences that reinforce this belief. This is a belief I want to have. You want to find beliefs that actually empower you and don't hurt you. So the person you want to be, like I said, is the end goal. And how would that person think? That's what you have to basically uncover. And would they think, food doesn't work, or would they be like, a person that's healthy, active, strong, confident, like, full of energy, and basically, what would they think? Would they be like, food doesn't help, or like, this food is medicine, like this food will heal me, stuff like that. So you have to really uncover the person that has the results you want, because like I said, the person always comes before, and then you have to write down the beliefs. So basically, the exercise that I would recommend doing is doing it in the morning. So part of your morning routine should be something that basically helps you improve like every area. So like physically, mentally, spiritually as well. So mine, I explained it I think in another video. So I wake up at 4:30 before touching my phone until like 7 or 8. I go out for a walk, try to connect spiritually with God. I have like gospel music that I play. And I just go for like a quick 30-minute walk, come back, go to the gym. So basically I do my morning cardio, go to the gym, work myself physically there a bit more. And then I come back and then I read and reflect mentally as well. So those 3 areas are taken care of. And then reflecting is basically what I reflect on what I've read about, but also I start working on like my programming. So making sure I'm actively programming myself. And like I said, not letting society or social media or whatever you're interacting with program you unconsciously. So you have to do this in the morning and also at night. So basically, when your subconscious is most susceptible and open and receptive is upon waking up, you're in like, I think it's beta or theta state. I'm not really sure what it's called. But also before you go to bed and you're like in that sleepy state, I believe it's called beta state. That is when you're most susceptible to, your subconscious is most susceptible to receive programming. So you have to basically have a journal there, like I said, go over those auto suggestions and basically beliefs that you want to have and implant in your subconscious. Like I said, this is a full-time job. I think it's actually more than a full-time job. It's like 16 hours a day, however long you're awake. Always working on this. It's nonstop, or else your autopilot mind comes in and just resurfaces all the normal beliefs you have, whatever you're doing in your day-to-day stuff. So yeah, this is basically what you have to begin to do. I'm going to try and find that Tony Robbins thing and see if I can include it in the description. But if you just go to Tony Robbins beliefs on YouTube or whatever, you'll definitely find it. But yeah, this is the way to begin to program yourself. Like I said, this has to be something conscious. It's not going to just happen out of the blue. You have to begin to, like I said, choose the beliefs. So make them as delusional as possible. Have the process in the morning, especially, and at night, I would say is more important because you have your brain the most susceptible time. But also, you're basically just repetition having it as like a memory, like muscle memory. And then basically when you're going about your day, just have it always there. You know what I mean? Like it has to be super conscious. So yeah, I'll try to include the thing like I mentioned. And yeah, that's basically what you have to begin to do. So there's nothing else to it. There's no like hack or anything like that. You're changing the person you are through beliefs. Everything you want comes after beliefs. So the thoughts you think become the beliefs, which become the actions and the habits create the character, and then basically create the character creates your results and your destiny. So this is the way to begin to do things. Like I said, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Jen Arce, same as my YouTube. I help people there in terms of sharing my day-to-day thoughts, routine, life, and also results and how I eat and stuff like that. And any client wins that I have, I share there as well. But yeah, would love to speak with you guys, help you guys out with anything you're currently dealing with. You please comment below as well what you currently do in terms of programming, what your thoughts are on programming, if it's real to you or not. Like I said, it is whether we believe it or not. We are running off subconscious mind, and everything begins with basically repetitive programming. So anyways, hope the video helped you. Yeah, like and subscribe helps the channel grow. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for sticking around. If you guys made it to the end, I think this will help you tremendously. And yeah, in the meantime, wish you all the best. Take care of yourself, put your ideal self first, and as well, keep killing.